Hey, you guys. I'm gonna try to keep this short. And there was a sister, Nina. She sent me two videos on weather modification, and I've been kind of trying to figure this out here. I've been getting bits and pieces. This one video that she sent me also shows um, those three lines that the Lord showed me in Puerto Rico. The laser beams where they probably tried to amplify the intensity of the damage over Puerto Rico. I'll leave the videos below. So what I was trying to figure out, because the Lord's been giving me double meanings on these dreams, and not dreams, visions. And I wrote a couple, just writing a couple of them down. I know I've been sharing them and thinking out loud as on the majority of these storms. And you guys, I wanted to figure out whether this is simply geoengineering or God's judgment. And the visions I've been getting are pointing me to both. Him allowing what he's allowing, and them having an agenda for whatever reason, like in Puerto Rico, probably um, to clear out the land and maybe put a U.S. military base there. But in a sense, God's trying to wake them up also. You guys, we're in the last days, and there's going to be a tribulation period. There ain't going to be no building, and there ain't going to be no recovery at the start of the tribulation, unless you take the trip. You can't buy or sell or anything. You understand what I'm saying? There's a purpose, so let me stay on track and make this video short, because we know there's geoengineering, and I believe the Lord has been showing me that, giving me double meanings to these visions, and only he can do that. You guys, only he can give me a path or a track, or their intentions. And for example, the three lines that I saw in Puerto Rico, they were pointing to radar frequency and weather manipulation. And also, at the same time, Mexico, the the building, the flag that I saw on Mexico during the time of the earthquake. Puerto Rico and Mexico being one of the idolatrous uh, countries. We ain't even seen nothing yet here in America, you guys. We got a warning. We got the 40 days of repentance. We got more grace. You guys, we haven't been... I believe the Lord is allowing the plant. God is God over everything. He's allowing what he wants to allow for his purpose. What the enemy meant for evil, what the government meant for evil to try to wipe out Florida, may bring many to repentance. You understand what I'm saying, you guys? The restrainer is still restraining. We still here. And until he that letteth, you guys, I can preach on that. So I talked about the three lines, and the Lord showing me radio weather manipulation, and also Mexico. All this around the time that I'm getting, and Puerto Rico. And I listened to a video by Prophet Dr. Ojar, or whatever, however we say his name, and I started to watch it. It was 45 minutes. I'm I've heard a lot of what he said. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about him, but um, being a true prophet, I believe it. But then it's like I would have to say for sure, but I would have to really, really like analyze him, and I haven't really analyzed him. And even though a lot that he says sounds true, okay, you guys, I just want to put that out there. But he began to talk about how he prophesied to Mexico years ago. And I'm assuming he may not know anything about no weather engineering. Years ago, I want to say maybe 15 years ago, he went to Mexico and preached repentance and told them to turn away from their idolatry. So what I'm saying is, you guys, although the powers that be may have an agenda, the Lord may use it for his purpose, and that is to wake people up, and that is to turn people to him. Because why? We're in the last days. The tribulation is about to start. The great sign of the revelation sign is I'm not saying the tribulation is going to start on September 23rd, but it's a benchmark. Glasses. Just wanted to give some examples of that, you guys, because I was wondering, why am I getting indications of weather manipulation along with God's prophecy and what's actually occurring, whether people say it was weather manipulation or not. And I believe the Lord's just showing me that he's allowing whatever he's allowing. And I went through this whole thought process because I'm wondering if the path of Maria, I was wondering if the path of Maria is contingent on whether or not we strike a peace deal to divide the land of Israel. I saw the hurricane, the colorful hurricane, in a box close to me. This may be the Lord showing me, one, that it's weather modification. Two, this may be, their intention or whatever. But when I got that vision of that black storm slamming into South Carolina, and there's a video, and there's geoengineering video showing Maria slamming into South Carolina, it just made me think, just like Nineveh, are some things contingent on repentance or them striking a deal to divide Israel, like we see many catastrophic events. I think Paris had some type of terrorist attack the day after the nations met. I can't remember last night. Some type of some group was bust in and terrorized their neighborhood, and it flooded. I think they had some type of historical flooding. Paris, when they had that meeting, can't remember which meeting. It was talking peace deals of Israel. The Lord dealt swiftly, and this made me, when I had that vision of that black hurricane and the thing came in swiftly, it made me think of whether or not any UN talks or anything that Kushner's trying to do is contingent on whether or not this hurricane hits us. I know the track is taking it up north, I know, but this particular storm has brought up is honing in my attention on both God's will and geoengineering. God can use anything. So before I end this video, I'll leave the 2 videos below. I thank Nina for sharing it with me because it helped me put some things in perspective. I saw the high ridge pressure, and the video says I saw the high ridge pressure of when they were talking about Maria. And just for another example, and the video says the jet streams determine where Maria will go. And I feel like the Lord was telling me, perhaps these peace talks or determine where Maria will go. You understand me? Because I've been getting kind of clear things, clear paths, clear whatever. And it's only been with Maria that, in the timing of this all, that makes me try to listen to what the Lord is trying to put in perspective, what the Lord may be trying to tell us. Okay, you guys? So the last thing, they talk about Hurricane Katrina and what they did to some of these people, you guys, is on this particular interview about Katrina. This guy's talking to Alex Jones. I know we know who Alex Jones is now. Paid opposition, and I understand. I stopped watching him once I realized over a year ago that he would interrupt the guests when they about to talk about some real important truth. You understand? You're supposed to be a truth and let the truthers that come to your show talk. It's still good information. He puts out some true information. Some, you know how that goes, you guys, with paid opposition. But this guy talked about Irma, and I'll end this video. He talked about Irma and how this thing went up to a category 5, and the Lord was showing me the different phases, you guys. He was showing me different phases, and back then, how it was growing, how it was, intensifying or whatever, and that's how I knew it grew, because the Lord was showing me. But guess what, you guys? They intensified Irma, and it was supposed to be catastrophic, and the Lord told me that tropical system was going to affect the southeast and Charleston. And that's what it did. Even when the path changed, the Lord said it will come to pass. I heard him say that the day before. I'm like, Lord, how in the world is this going to affect Charleston? He said it will come to pass. I never told you guys that. He said it will come to pass. And we had this historic flooding, worse than the 100-year flood, I believe, and worse than the damage that Hurricane Matthew did. Destroyed crops. I bought some okra the other day, and the okra don't look right. It don't look right. It looks skinny and I don't know. It don't look like the local farms okra. And I meant to ask the person about it. Like, why does okra look like this skinny? It don't have no roundness to it. So anyway. They intensified Irma, and Irma dropped all that rain in the ocean as opposed to land. You guys, the Lord can reveal his plans to us, the enemy's plans to us. And our job is to pray against those, to disable the plans of the enemy. Let's corporately pray against the plans of the enemy. Whether the Lord show me his purpose, his will, or even the combination of his purpose, his will, and the plan of the enemies, to expose it so people are aware and they don't take things lightly, these storms. If we were to be here in 2018, everybody should know by 2018, don't trust a meteorologist. You understand what I'm saying? So the Lord does that to protect us, so we can have plans and not to go in these FEMA camps and stuff. Listen to the videos and see all what happened during Hurricane Katrina. Okay, you guys? I just was trying to put some things in the perspective, because, I said it, I was thinking out loud, but I knew that the Lord was trying to show me both things. And I believe he's trying to show Chad both things, maybe. Maybe he'll get some perspective on what the Lord was showing him with these tracts. Is there a contingency for repentance? Is there contingency for these peace deals as far as the track of Maria? We'll see. I'm getting a little bit more clarity on this. Okay, you guys. You can leave your comments in the description box. The restrainer is still restraining, but we know all hell will break loose when we are taken out of the way and the tribulation starts. Okay, you guys. We still have time. We still have God's grace and mercy. I think I seen something about Yellowstone here. I haven't even watched the news really. And I also want to say that I saw a comment. I've read it through my email, not the full comment. I believe somebody else was warned about Mexico, you guys. So the Lord is still warning, even though there's been some deaths. He wants people to wake up and turn to Him. Ain't, time is running out. Ain't no more time. Okay, you guys? God is gracious and merciful. Still. We don't have Baal arching. God is still merciful. We don't had abortion and God is still merciful. The outright coming out as Satanists, cannibalism. God is still merciful, waiting. He's not willing that any should perish, you guys. We serve a good God, okay, you guys? I just wanted to try to put some things in perspective and let you know, share some information as it's been shared with me, and just try to figure out what the Lord's trying to tell us, okay, you guys? I'll come back and talk about the Bennu thing that the Lord was showing me. It's no coincidence this thing is going out on the last day of Rosh Hashanah and the fall equinox, and this thing, what it symbolizes. Okay, you guys? Hopefully I'll come right back and make a video. 5 minutes.